All right, so I am going to lead you through Nearpod, and the way I'm going to lead you through it is I want you to join me in a Nearpod. I've created a Nearpod for this professional development, and I will give you the information for that. Just a second, we're going to do a live lesson. So if you've got another device, or if you can open up another screen and you can join me, let me see. Hang on. I didn't want to do a Zoom meeting. There's options that you can do a Zoom meeting now with that. Start all over. Okay, so I'm going to launch a live lesson. And the way I use these in my classes, I use them for student-paced. I have them, and this is where I put all my lectures. I'll embed my screencasts, or I will can also just narrate like PowerPoint slides. I'll show you some options that you can do. So we are going to, if you'll go to join.nearpod.com and type in this code, QIBCB. And then you will join me for our Nearpod. And just let me know, raise your hand or something, let me know when you've joined.
Well, in her office, it's still 69 grade.
Join.nearpod.com, and this is the code. While you're waiting, you can look at my grandbaby. Isn't he cute? I updated my pictures. Last time we met, he was a tiny baby, and he's 16 months old now. Okay, anybody having trouble? You got it? You having trouble, Renee?
I am. My computer's just slow, so if you want to move on, I'll catch up.
Okay, just let me know if you need any help.
Okay, thank you.
So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to do an activity in this Nearpod, and I'm asking you a question: how much experience have you had with Nearpod? And so choose your answer, and then it will populate. And I have the option to hide your names. Like if you were doing this in your class and you didn't want people to know, you can hide the student names, or you can display them. So we have some with very little, and some with some, but I need to know more. So this is just a quick way to do a formative assessment. Of course, you could have any question, to whatever your content is, or get to know one. So they've changed a lot. As I've been doing Nearpod, they have given different options for creating them. You can create them, you can go to Google Slides and have this as an add-on. Nearpod is an add-on, and you can create it that way. Or you can create it by importing directly into Nearpod, or you can make the slides within Nearpod. So if I had, sometimes the textbook companies will send you PowerPoints, and there have been times that I've used those PowerPoints, and I've just imported them into the Nearpod, and then I then I do my lecture and discussion within the Nearpod on each slide. And that makes it pretty easy to do. So, whoops, didn't know what happened there, hang on. So, and like I mentioned before, when you're doing Nearpod, you can do it virtual. In your virtual and online classes, you can do it if you're doing a synchronous, or if you're face-to-face, you can do a live lesson, or you can do a student-paced lesson if you're asynchronous. Now we're going to watch a little video that I created. So I created a screencast, and I uploaded it into Nearpod, and this screencast is just showing you how to use Nearpod. So, and you should be able to see the video on your device.
There are 3 different ways that you can complete a Nearpod. You can do, as I did your Nearpod, I started with a Google slideshow and I went to my add-ons. And I had Nearpod already, so I opened Nearpod. Or you can go to Get Add-ons if you do not have Nearpod, and you can search and find the Nearpod add-on, and then you would sign in with your account. I will do a search Nearpod. And you add it, it's telling me it's already installed. So then you go, if you were creating a Nearpod, you can choose any of these activities to add to your slideshow to make it interactive. And one of my favorites is a collaborate slide. And a collaborate slide is kind of like a Padlet. This is one thing that allows students to see each other's work. I use this a lot. So maybe, how do you think you would use Nearpod? And you can choose the style that you want. Go with that one. And hit save.
I don't want to interrupt myself. But
There it is.
collaborate is
I'm
really
going to show
cool.
you what it looks like inside Nearpod. If we go to save and go to Nearpod. Saving again. Almost there.
So every time you create a slide, and if you get out to go look at it, it has to resave it inside
While we're
Nearpod.
waiting, you see that our department uses one account, and then each person in the department will label their folder, and that's where we store our Nearpod. Okay, so now this one is ready. If we preview it, this is actually the one you're doing right now. You'll see the poll question came up just like you saw it. Creating a Nearpod. Here's the video. Into slide. And this should be our collaborate slide. So that's how you do it going through Google Slides. Now, if I go add to Google Slides, which I am going to, because I'm not finished with this presentation, then I would again save it and go back and save it in Nearpod. Now, another way you can do it is if you go to your account and you can say, create your own lesson in Nearpod. You can add a slide, or you can import a PowerPoint or a Google slide or a PDF into. So let's try it. Let's see what this is. Go ahead and add. Let's go ahead and upload files. I'll just go look for something that I have in my drive. Again. Let's see. So here's one. So I can import it. I can do it as individual slide or as one large one. I like to do individual slides, especially if this is something I previously created and I want to go add audio to each of the slides. Now, all the slides have been imported, And so I can go to each individual slide now. And add a recording to it. So I can do audio file, or audio recorder. So if I want to provide a lecture or information on each slide, that's how I do that. I also add activity slides, and I can put them anywhere in the PowerPoint or the slideshow that I want. I can add videos, I can add questions, I can add field trips, and all kinds of things that can be added into the slideshow. Or I can create another standalone slide, just a regular slide. And I can also link to different websites if I would like. So that is an example of 3 different ways that you can make the Nearpod. You can use it through making it in Google Slides. You can import Google Slides into the Nearpod, or PowerPoint into the Nearpod. And you can create it within the Nearpod itself.
So what I did in creating that video, and I apologize for the audio, it was not very good. But what I did was I created the video on a screencast, and I could have had it create with showing my face, but at the time that I created that, I was in my pajamas in my recliner, so I chose not to show my face. But anyway, so I saved it as a video file, and then I uploaded it into the Nearpod. So that's one way to do videos, or you can find a YouTube video or something that you want to add and do it that way. So this is another quick option for a little quiz you can add, and it says which tools can you use on Nearpod, because we're going to talk about tools now. Let's see if you can answer that question. So this just shows what you picked, and my mouse just died. It's been doing this all day. There we go. I'm going to ignore my office phone. I'm sorry, my mouse is not letting me move. The phone is ringing and the mouse is not working. So what else? I'm glad it's just y'all.
I'm going to call Susan, tell her to bring you a new battery.
Yes, need battery.
Unfortunately, the Mac mouse are plugged in under, they're charging.
Okay, got it. Okay, so here's an activity. If you teach math or science, I love this activity. It's called PhET. And all I did was when you're creating the Nearpods, you have a choice of activities, and this is one, and you can search for, I can search for balance.
Right outside your door.
Excuse me?
I said, we're trying. This vent right outside your door is blowing 62 degrees. So it's going to start.
Sorry, I got
What's this one blowing?
distracted.
72.
But anyway, you can have
You should have
students
seen all the
balance
mud and sand
equations,
we
you
washed
can
out
do
of
this
that
live, or you can do it.
So we're trying to get that one running now.
Okay, I can feel it already.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can do it live, or you can do it at student pace, but this is one cool way that you can use an activity. So let me see if I can get these right. Let's see, 4, nope, 6. I didn't need that many. 2. Oh well. I think I got it. I got a smiley face. But anyway, there's different ones, and there's like fractions you can use. So this would be a good little instructional tool for K-12, and that's called PhET. Another one here is another type of quiz. It's called Time to Climb. So if you want to participate in this, these are some great questions that you're going to be asked here. See if you see how well you know me. know some now.
I may have taken this before.
Good job, Melissa. Yay. So this is just a little fun a way to do a little quiz, kind of like Kahoot. Or to get to know someone. Good job, Ashton. You have a great memory. So I don't remember the questions, but I share a birthday with my mom. My dad did not drive. Was that one of them? I could write with my toes. Was that one of them? Yeah. I've got nice long toes, and I don't remember the other question. All right, so this one, this is something you can do. You can add a PDF. So like if you were doing a live with your students or even a student paste, you could upload an article or something that if you wanted to talk to students about it. This next one I just added the other day. I think it's pretty cool. This is highlight what you do not understand. So like if you were doing steps, if you had steps in balancing equation, and you could have students highlight the number they didn't understand. This is the draw app. You could add, you could upload a PDF, which I did, and then, or actually it was a JPEG, and then just one of y'all highlight something so we can see it. See, we could see, I could say, okay, Vicky's having trouble with counting the number of atoms. So let's go over that. So this would be a good formative type assessment to help students to discover where they need more information. This is a cool thing too. This is called, this is where you add virtual reality. And so if the student, and of course my mouse died again, but if the students had the VR, if this was on their phone and they actually had the little cardboard viewers, you could go to VR. You'll see what it looks like. And then, or you can do it just normal, and then you can walk around and look at the pyramids. They have have a wide array of options in VR for you to go and visit. So if you were doing something that you wanted them to see, a museum, you could probably find a certain museum. I know they have the Natural History Museum there, and you could go on a virtual field trip. So I love the VR. Even if they don't have the goggles, they can still see. I mean, you can get up close to the Sphinx and really look at it. It's just so many cool things you can do virtually now. Here's another draw. In this one, you are to label the flower. And so this just gives another quick assessment. And you just draw it. It may give you the option to type it too, does it? Or can you tell? Very good. So you got leaf and stem, and flower. You may can tell I have a little science background because that's the only kind of questions I could think of. Very good. So that's another cool. I really like the draw, and I'll use this a lot of times in professional development too. If I'm doing face-to-face professional development with teachers, I'll use Nearpod, or another one is called Pear Deck. It's very similar to Nearpod, and it's just an add-on when you're doing Google Slides. It doesn't have all the options. And this one, I just had you to draw a picture. So maybe I want you to draw the water cycle, or, you know, the teacher could give information about that, or draw a concept map on teaching in urban schools. What do you think about? And so there's all kinds of different things you could do with that. Very cool. And then there's also a direct link to Nearpod. If you click on it, you should go, actually you scroll down, then you go to the plus, you can add a Flipgrid. You would have to log in. So say we had a big discussion and I wanted you to go and reflect. And so that's one way you could do that. Do y'all get, were you able to click on to your to Flipgrid as well? Like this? Good, okay. This is one of my favorite. This is the 3D image. So you're talking about biology, or, I mean, there's all different things. This is just the human body. It's, to me, was the most fascinating. But if you can look at the human body, it's just an AR app, and you can turn it around. You can scroll in and look, woo, get really detailed. You can identify all the parts. This is so much better than the skeleton I used to have in my classroom. You can turn him. You can go look at the brain. Well, if I can move him down. And then, you know, they have just the body with just the muscles, but they have all kinds of things. I can't remember who was in the session last time. It was Leanne. What did she say she used to get them writing on something? Do you remember that, Ashton?
I do not, unfortunately.
Well, that's been a couple of weeks ago. I don't know. Maybe they had to come up with instructions for something. Anyway, it was a way of, one thing that we used to do in class, we would take a piece of artwork, and to help encourage writing, they would describe the artwork in their own words. And maybe it was something like that. I don't remember. But by using a 3D image, they can really get detailed. This is a matching slide. So it gives you you can match. Got that. I started teaching classroom management a couple of semesters ago, or a few semesters ago. And Steve Ward is the one that got me onto Nearpod, because he used it all in classroom management. And he did the matching slides with the types of management philosophies. So I thought it was a great review for them. And here's the collaborate slides. And you have, if you were in doing K-12, you would want to click, would you like to approve student comments before they're posted? You would say yes. But for y'all, I don't have to do that. But this is where I love this, because you can post something and everybody can add to it. I can like it. The only thing that it does not do that I wish it did was you can't directly reply to somebody. Where Padlet, I don't know if you've used Padlet before, you can directly reply to somebody. However, if you prefer Padlet, where you can always upload, that would be a website that you uploaded as a choice when you created a slide. Learner Pace PD, yes. So now I want us to exit the Nearpod, and I'm going to show you how I use it in my classes real quick. Does anybody have any questions? Because I've just kind of been rattling. Feel free to stop me anytime. All right, I'm gonna go to Google Classrooms. You can do this with Blackboard as well. Actually, I'm gonna go to Nearpod first. I actually make my Nearpods an assignment. It's a participation type assignment. I make sure they go through and answer all the questions. So if I go to this and I want to add it, you can add it. Do you use Blackboard or Google Classroom? Use Blackboard, most of you? Okay, I'm going to show you both ways. If you want to do a student-paced lesson, this is where you would be using it asynchronously. You click on it, and you require student submissions, and you see it says 29 days remaining. It took me a while to understand that. I thought, oh, once I set it up, my code would always expire. Well, you can actually go to the calendar and set it as far off as you want. So if you want to do it to the end of the semester, you just now have 163 days, and I can get the link, copy the link, and then embed it in a Blackboard assignment. So it's that simple, okay? If you're doing Google Classroom, all you have to do is click on Google Classroom. I find a class I want to share it in. I'm just going to use this Nearpod. I choose an action, create assignment, go. I do the points, the due date, and the topic, and so forth. And then students now, I guess it's going to make me do all that. So if I go into my classroom, and this would be the same way within Blackboard, you just have to do another step where this one goes. So then I can just click on my Nearpod and go there, and it will take the students to the Nearpod. And this is, everybody, I'm always named Michael Mills because he's the owner of this account. So if you did it as a link in Blackboard, it would do the same thing. All right, one last thing I want to show you. Maybe. As I want to go to Google Slides and I just changed the battery last week, so something's wrong with my mouse. I think my mouse is tired. So I'm going to go to Google Slides. And this is the Nearpod that I created your zone, but I don't know if you got a good view of how easy it was to do the add-ons. I mean, do the activities. So I've got to turn it on. I go to open Nearpod. And mine says edit this lesson. So, okay, so if I wanted to add audio, I could add audio right like I showed you earlier. Where, oh no, this one's uploading an audio file. It's easier to do audio inside a Nearpod. But I could add the collaborate slide. This is where I got the draw it. The field trip. This is the virtual reality. The fill in the blanks. You can have a fill in the blank quiz, matching pairs, flip grid, this is the Nearpod that are the 3D, the skeleton. You could do open-ended questions, quizzes. That's the PhET simulation. Sway is like if you're making supposed to be an interactive type, almost interactive type website. I didn't get it to work right, so I'm not really a fan of that one. But if you wanted to link to another website, this is the way you would do it here. This is the video, how I saved the video, and that's that fun little time to climb like Kahoot game where they're timed. And that's how you do it. And then you save it and it will take you right to Nearpod, like that. And so it's that easy. And I've created a few. Okay, so that is that. Are there any questions? Seems like I'm missing something because it's taken me a lot shorter time than it did last time. Maybe y'all haven't been asking questions.
Hey, Debbie, do you use it most frequently when you're teaching synchronously or asynchronously?
I do it asynchronously usually. That way they can go back and look at it as many times as they want. Oh, I know what I didn't show you. I remember. But anyway, I've heard of people doing it though. If they're face-to-face, they do it in class. Now I have done it face-to-face in my professional development. But I'd also, especially with our undergraduates, if any of them are going hybrid or online, this would be a great way to do it synchronously as well. Because and when you do it synchronously, as you noticed, I controlled when your slide moved. You know, that way they can't jump ahead or whatever. Okay, so one way to get to see if students participated is you go up here to these three little dots and you go to reports. And I'll just click on, oh, that's just one student. Michael Mills participated in this one. But it gives me what they participated, it would give their answers, or if they did it, they would give their draw, their collaborate. Let me go back to one that actually was completed. So go to reports. There's 17 students. Okay, the only thing I did with them was collaborate, but I want to show you what it looks like. So it gets all their responses. And something else you can do is when I go through and read it and I like it, I don't respond because there's no way to respond to it unless I created another little note tab. But what I do is I go here and I get a link and I copy the link. And so when I go talk to them, when I respond to the email to them in email, I will include a link to the board just so in case they didn't see the rest of the students' responses, then it's right there for them. They can click on it. And then I might highlight one or two responses and what they said. So that's just a way of kind of communicating with them about our Nearpod and what we did. And my mouse died again, so I can't go back. Any other questions? I would like to show you what something else looks like if this comes back on. I apologize. But this is a great one to record, Ashton. Technical difficulties. Let's try something. Okay, we're connected. All right, so let me do this. One more. I'll go to ours, and so we can see who responded.
Or who didn't.
Or who didn't respond, who did not respond.
That will be me on all of them. I was struggling trying to get connection and keeping up. Sorry.
Hey, I understand. Okay, that's not the right one. It might have disappeared. Shouldn't have. Let me do it this way. Just giving me troubles today. Anyway, let's see if I can find one that.
So Debbie, how do you manage it so that your students don't get confused between platforms? So say I'm going to teach a class in the fall, and I'm going to do Zoom for synchronous learning, and now there's actually a link in Blackboard that they can just go to Zoom. Do you do Google Slides and then you drop it into Blackboard? Do you use Google Classroom and drop it in there? What do you think's easiest?
If you were doing a synchronous and you were using slides, is that what you were
If
saying?
I were doing asynchronous and I was doing, I had some synchronous sessions and I'm doing Zoom for that, and some asynchronous sessions, or, you know, if I'm doing kind of that A-B split, how would you manage that?
Well, let me show you what my Google Classroom looks like. I have everything pre-created before we start. And then I do an overall video telling everybody where everything is. Now that doesn't mean that that it's perfect by any means. Let's see. I've got a half a dozen classes. All right, so here's my Google Classroom. And so every module looks the same. First, I have all the information. I have the course overview, how everything will run. So what I would do is, like, I have module 1, and under module 1, I have content. And so I include the, like if I have a PowerPoint, if I were doing this is all the background information they need, okay? And then I have this is where they would do the Nearpod. Now, if I were gonna do an asynchronous Zoom session, I would also put that in module 1. I'd have the Zoom link. And I don't know if you saw this, but if you go back to Nearpod, when you're creating a Nearpod or sharing a Nearpod now, you can also do a Zoom one. So like you could do live lesson with Zoom. And this is a new. So you would create your Zoom meeting. So you would have everything to Zoom. This would be in the Zoom. So it'd be one link. So that makes it a lot easier that way. So if you were doing it synchronously, back to my Google Classroom. And then I have their assignment right below it. So everything for this week is module 1, or everything in module 1's for that week. And the other thing that I do that I think is helpful for students is I do a weekly schedule or a modular schedule that has the dates, exactly what they're doing, their reading or background knowledge, and their assignments and due dates. So I would put in there, if it were, I probably, if I were doing an AB, would have I might even have 2 separate classroom schedules, an A schedule and a B schedule.
Ashton, do you know if Blackboard has a pass-through to Nearpod and I know it does to Zoom.
There is an integration. I don't know if we would qualify for it since we just have kind of one account that multiple people are using. I can reach out to Nearpod and Tanya McKinney to see if that's something we could integrate. I don't really know how it works. I just Googled it while we were in here and saw that there is a Blackboard integration though.
And if not, if you go to Blackboard, I still have Blackboard courses. Once I started using Google Classroom, it was like, so easy. And it just integrates so well with the the other little technologies. But if you go to, if this is one. Yeah, this is an old one, so this will work. If I go to like module 1 and I want to add an assessment, if you were going to grade this, so you just add it as an assignment, and I would add my link. That's not a link, is it? Oh. Yeah.
Debbie, did you set it up where you had to create module 1, module 2, module 3, or was it just already created for you?
No, you have to create it. Okay. And I did it on how I did Blackboards. I did Blackboard the exact same way with the modules. And I did that. I got that from the training that we had to do, you know.
So I did the training, and they already have it pre-populated, the shell with module 1, 2, and 3 in Blackboard.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I just wondered if it was that way in
No, it's not. And that the first time that I used Google Classroom, I did not like it because I'm like, it's all scattered. But it's real simple when you're doing it. What you do is you create topics. And so when if I wanted to, see, create another topic, actually I'd go to classwork. Oh, it's archived. That's why it's not working. If I go to classwork, create, say I want material, and I need Nearpod. It's going to just be called Nearpod information. All right. So then I'd add my material, whatever I wanted. And then over here on topic, this is where you would select what module. And so, I mean, I created or you could create one. So I could create a topic and maybe it'd be module 11. And so it's that easy, you know, and then it will post, and then you would drag it to wherever you wanted it to be. The only thing it doesn't do, I don't know, it does hide it. You know how Nearpod, how Blackboard will hide it and you can release it as you go, make it viewable as you go. Google Classroom will do that too, although I never liked that. And I think the reason I never liked it is because I was the student that wanted to see everything. So I didn't know what I had in store for me. And so that's how I kind of operate. Okay,
And I'm the opposite. I schedule mine to go out. So yeah, isn't that neat how we're all different? But
We're
yeah,
all
you can
different.
schedule
All right,
assignments.
I'll see if this Nearpod would work. So I created it and put it in Google Classroom, assigned it as a 1 point. Let's see if it will. Yep, it's going right to Nearpod. So the only thing, and you have to do this with Google Classroom too, you have to go, I have students usually take a screenshot of their last slide. So they're submitting something, so it triggers me to score them, just like it does in Blackboard. But I always go back and look at the report to see who participated before I award their points, because, you know, sometimes they'll participate or they won't participate. They'll just go through the slides and not add anything to it. And I expect them to add, you know, complete the quizzes and add to the collaborate slide, whatever. But yeah, that link works, and that would be the same thing if you were using Padlet. You know, Padlet would do the same thing. You could link it in your Blackboard shell. But if anybody wants to go to Google Classroom, I'll be happy to guide you, although the provost would probably wish I'd just hush.
We got approval to use Google Classroom.
That's
We're all
right.
good.
We did.
So what about account information? I heard you say that you were using Michael Mill's account.
I think we have a teaching and learning account too, and so I don't know why I'm still in Michael Mills's account, but anyway, I don't know if that's his private account or what, but your department can get one account, and since I'm new in this position, I have no idea what that one account costs, but we're a gold user. And I think someone told me Elsie has their own account. Do you know, Janet?
I just asked Heather if we had one. She's not sure. She said she thinks we did have one. It was set up under Keith, so she doesn't know if it's current, but she said Jennifer will have that information, and Jennifer's out today.
Okay. Harrington, Leanne Harrington.
Lisa.
Lisa Harrington. Lisa Harrington. That's what I thought. She's the one that said that because she uses it, and she uses it synchronously in the classroom.
Yes, I have a vague memory of getting it set up when it ran out because Lisa was using it.
Yeah.
So that's why I'll just check with Jennifer and see where we're at, if we have to renew it. I'm sure it's a yearly renewal.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And I'll just say, I did check on the Blackboard integration. That's only available for school and district licenses. So what we all have here, which is either the gold, probably the gold account, which is $120 a year, that does not have Blackboard integration, but you can still copy and paste links from your lessons into Blackboard like Debbie showed.
Vicki, did I answer your question about what to do with the classes?
Yeah. Thank you, Ashton. Thank you, Debbie. That was good.
Okay. And I'm happy to work with you on setting these up. They really, I enjoy doing it.
I'm glad you said that because most of this was Greek to me.
I'm sorry. Well, it was a little confusing because, you know, I tried to do something and then I got froze.
Well, no, my thing was with that initial survey you did with how much information we knew, there was nothing that said zilch.
Oh, okay. Funny.
There is a free account if you want to go ahead and create one and start playing. It does have limitations on it, but if you want to try that out just to kind of play around with it, that's all I've done is just kind of poke around, create a few stupid mess around lessons. So
Ashton, do you think it would be worth creating one for, how many people can you get on them? Do you have any idea? You've got one for TNL and one for LC.
So it's not really about how many people can be using it. It's about size. So it's mostly storage space, really. So as in the gold one, which is what Debbie said that they have, the storage space is only up to 3 gigabytes and the lesson size is 40 megabytes. So it just kind of depends. I mean, to my knowledge, TNL hasn't had any issues, and I think they've got a pretty good amount of faculty who are using it. And I know Lisa has a ton of lessons. Donna just moved all of hers over. So they've got the gold level is $120 a year, and then they have a platinum, which is $350 a year. I feel like it seems like they've been able to do just about everything.
Yeah, I mean, look at how many we've got in here. We've got Steve has 32, I have 33. Dee Dee Kane's in here. So we've got quite a few, and this is, like I said, this is Michael's. I need to figure out the TNL one as well. But I think it holds quite a few. I need to go through and clean them out because I've gotten a lot.
Does this cost the students anything?
No.
And that's the main difference, if I understand things, between this and Top Hat. Top Hat, the students have to pay for, correct?
Correct. Yes.
There's also another thing you can do is there's a library. So if you didn't want to create one, you can go and search for, I mean, you can pay or you can search for free, which that's always what I do. But say you wanted to look in something, English language arts, gives you grade level. This is great for teachers, K-12 teachers. And there's all kinds of Nearpods that are already created. that you can use. And it's easy enough, like if you go to ours, if you go back to our Nearpod, you can, on those, you download them to your site, but like on this one, if you wanted to take something that I did, all you have to do is you can duplicate and then add it to your folder. Say it was in my folder and you wanted one in your folder. And also I can share it. Like I can share this, the one that we just did. I gotta save it first. Every time I move it, I have to save it. I can share it with all of y'all, and you can do whatever you want to with it. So it makes it, you don't have to recreate the wheel if you don't want to. Like that. And I can just give you a link or email you with. It's not, I have to know your email address. It's not populating. All right. Any other questions? Did you see that? Do any of you use Remind? I don't use Remind. But if you, I saw here, where did they go? Oh, see, it has a remind. I guess you can remind students to finish it. That's that Remind 101 or whatever. I don't use it, but anyway, some people do. Okay, Ashton, if there's not any other questions.